Cool. So let's see. Today we've got Nathan, Maria, Nan, Linda, Michelle, and oh, now I'm blanking. Stana.
Stana.
Sorry, Stana.
That's
As soon
okay.
as I had doubt, then I couldn't remove the doubt from my mind. So I think we have someone new, which is Nan. Am I saying your name correctly?
Nan, but non
Nan.
works.
Okay, sorry.
You can make me
Nan.
into bread.
So, Nan, what we're going to do is have everyone introduce themselves. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the video that we watched. Then we're going to talk about the pain we suffered this week. And I think that's it. Cool. So let's have everyone introduce themselves. I'm Nathan. I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm excited to be here because we have some new people and we've got some new content to discuss.
Good. My name is Maria Boatman. I am in New York City, and I am excited to be with all of you. We have 2 new members today, so yay.
And I'm Stana Warren. I'm in Southeast Michigan, and I'm excited to be here because I'm really looking forward to delving into Ken Wapner's journey through the text of A Course in Miracles.
Christian Stanbury, Calgary, Alberta. Excited to be on the call because I didn't think I would make it. And so that, of course, Nathan can forgive me.
My name's Nan, and I'm in Crestone, Colorado.
All right, that leaves Linda.
Hi everyone, how you doing? I'm here in Lancaster, California. I'm originally from New York. I'm here with my little furry son, Desi, and he gives everybody a kiss. And Lucy, too. Okay? Love yous all. Remember, keep it simple. Towards love here, right? Right.
All right, cool. So this week we started listening to Journey Through the Text. And I can pretty easily summarize it in one sentence. The text is awesome. That's what Ken said in the first 30 minutes. Look how awesome it is. It's the perfect combination of form and content. Okay, so I'm being kind of silly, but it was cool to hear him talk about just what a great piece of literature it is. And that just gives me good emotions, good motivation for wanting to read more of it. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like reading this really great book. It's not just because, you know, I want something for myself, which is to, you know, become enlightened and escape this world. So the only things I wrote down are prayers are used to express a thought system. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. I hadn't heard him say before. And that miracles are thoughts. A while back, we haven't seen him in a while, but a while back, Langdon was asking, what are miracles? And at the time I was like, oh yeah, what are miracles? Miracles are thoughts. I guess there's other ways to describe them. But Ken says miracles are thoughts, corrections for the misthoughts of the ego. And then he talks about how the dualistic elements deal with the bottom rungs of the ladder. So he talked about how the Course, I guess my takeaway from this first 30 minutes of the video is that one of the ways that the Course is able to meet us on whatever level we're on is that it speaks on multiple levels, right? So sometimes it's speaking to us on the dualistic level and sometimes on a non-dualistic level. Wait, is that true? Because it does talk about the rungs of the ladder. Yeah, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay,
That was
great.
my interpretation.
So I thought that was pretty cool. That's all I've got. Who else would like to share some of their takeaways from the first 30 minutes?
I'll go really quick because I don't have so many highlights. I watched it like a week ago. But I love how you reminded me about the part where he's talking about the course of A Course in Miracles as a work of art, because that's always been one of my absolute favorite workshops. It's I love Ken's workshops near the end of his life, especially because I just find it's just deeper in a sense. And and he's just glowing in this workshop, and it's called A Course in Miracles as a Work of Art, Hearing and Reading Its Message. So if you want to hear him go deeper into it as a work of art, oh my gosh, it's such an incredible workshop. And yeah, also how you said about the levels, that really stood out for me. And yeah, that's about it. To be honest, one of my highlights is also the picture, like at the beginning where it just says the workshop. It's just nice little like yellow handwriting.
That font is crazy.
But I have a lot of his workshops, and it looks a little different and stuff.
I keep not being able to find the video because I go back to find it and I'm scrolling through my videos but it looks different than the other ones.
Yeah, so it's that's a little pleasant too. So it's just such a silly highlight, but yeah.
Cool. Who else?
Well, I'll go. I have to say that for me, in the beginning, when I got the books about the text, I was kind of disappointed because it was not explained like the other books that he did, like the workbook or the manual for teachers. And so, but I find that it's very useful the way he's doing it, like by doing it by theme and explaining each one of them. It was very useful for me because, for example, when he's explaining the style, how the text is a work of art, for me, having English being my second language, sometimes I don't get like those nuances with the language of the text. And by him explaining it right at the beginning, it was very, very useful. So now when I read the text, it's going to have like more, it's not necessarily that it's going to be like a different meaning, but it's going to get like, I don't know how to say it. It's like I am going to get it at another level also, not only for what it's saying, but the way in which it's saying what it's saying to me. So, and also explaining, going through each thing, like, you know, the Jesus and how the Holy Spirit is treated and how miracles are treated. I found it very, very good and very, very useful. So now, after doing the text this way, going and reading it back to the original text, it makes so much sense reading a new chapter after reading this. So yeah, that's what I could say.
Nice. Thanks, Maria.
Mm-hmm. I'll go next.
Great.
What intrigued me was the idea that he's bringing in the themes of literature and music. I love that when he's talking about the 3 levels at which Dr. Faustus is written, and then he goes back and he talks about the themes that Wagner built into his operas. This is amazing because I never even picked up on any of that in A Course in Miracles when I was reading it. And to go back now and read it from this newer perspective, to start looking for this kind of stuff, it's just going to open it up on an entirely different level. And I can only imagine, because when he's talking about Dr. Faustus especially, he's talking about the life of the composer, the life of the narrator, and then the life of Thomas Mann. So I'm imagining that there's probably going to be like a level at which you see the Holy Spirit and a level at which you see us as I'm going to use the word pilgrim for lack of a better word, and then the overall combination of those. So, I mean, just in this 30 minutes, it's like, okay, there's a whole different dynamic to this book that I never even ever would have thought of on my own. So I am really excited about this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Once you know a little bit about how the sausage is made, you can get a little bit more.
As long as it's not haggis.
What about, okay, now I have doubt about people's names. Nan, like Nancy. What about Nan or Linda? Something to share?
Michelle's on too. I don't know if you can see her.
Yeah, but
Oh,
she said she's
Michelle.
Yeah, but she said she was driving, so she's going to be able to only join in later.
Oh, she's there.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Did I speak too soon, Michelle?
You're muted, dear.
That's all right. She's
Thank
muted.
you. I just got here, so I will
good.
settle down. So Nan, go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is kind of silly because it just made me want to read Thomas Mann. Because it's like, wow, it got some really amazing stuff in it. So I don't know enough to say anything, basically.
What if we wait?
Like till next week.
Well,
Wait a second, Nan, I kind of missed that. Nan, did you watch the video?
I did watch
or
I
how
just
long-
don't know much about the course. So, I appreciated his analysis of Thomas Mann and his talking about Wagner and music, but it's sort of like I have to see what happens because
Well,
I
that's
don't
great.
know
Those are some good
anything
takeaways.
about the book.
Are you already a course student? I'm just curious.
Well, Stana and another woman named Sue are doing a intro sort of in a centering prayer environment. And so it's offered Monday and Friday for an hour, and basically half of it is meditation. And then the rest of it is us learning a bit about the course. And what did we do 4 times so far?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds pretty exciting, and I'm kind of like realizing how important it is to kind of have like because this course, even though it uses Western terminology, it's very sort of like Eastern, and a lot of, even though meditation isn't necessarily a major part of the course per se, but the workbook gets you to meditate. I feel like it's important. And like just before I got on the call, I'm thinking, okay, so because I've been watching some Muji and stuff, and he really gets you to kind of like go deep inside, and I'm thinking, man, that's important. I should like meditate, and then when I realize that I even have a mind, then I should forgive. But then I log into Facebook, and it's like there's a highlight right there, the picture right on front, just a minute after I thought that. It's like, remember, you forgive and then you pray. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know anything, but yeah, I definitely have to forgive and pray, but forgive then pray. But I think, that the major takeaway there, I think that you got to pray too, in a sense, like meaning meditate or like find your mind, or forgiveness helps you find your mind, and your mind helps you find forgiveness. I don't know. It's kind of like.
Well, and that's one of the things that Ken was talking about, was the fact that on the different levels, at one level it tells you that the Holy Spirit hears your prayers and will help you, and that at the same level that your prayers are not heard at all. And both of those things are true. So our little brain keeps spinning around going, wait, how can both of those things be true? But they are at different levels. And so he was also emphasizing the fact that throughout this course, it goes back and forth between the different levels, but it's not linear. It kind of bounces back and forth, which is, again, another thing that keeps our little ego mind just spinning around going, wait, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Linda or Michelle, anything to share from the first 30 minutes?
No, because I only got to the first 10 minutes and he was just about to start getting good. So, but I got online, I figured out how to get online, and I just got back. So, nope. I'm sure I would have picked up some of the stuff that has been shared. Thank you.
No problem. Linda?
Yeah, I must have read like the first 10 or 15 minutes myself. I mean, oh God, I had like too much to do today, especially now food shopping. My legs are so bad. I mean, I'm lucky before all this meeting stuff, I just grabbed my dinner and I'm laying out of bed here, and that's how soon I was able to come in. So I made it. So it's like when you read a Course in Miracles book or any book, you're not going to know what's in it, but you want to like just open your mind, open your heart, and play by ear. That's what you want to do. Sometimes you may like a book or not like it, so it's up to you. But if you find a book that really catches your heart, then you really have to open yourself up to the book. Now I highly suggest meditate with your higher power to, I guess, put the book within your soul. I guess Ken explains it. You have to read the book carefully. So, I mean, I did get a little bit what he was saying. I guess today my boyfriend, he has a cold. I think I'm getting him back. So I'm doing the best I can. So that's what I stick with. I'm in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous for over 25 years. And I heard about Course in Miracles. I think before I went into the rooms just once. I was at the Tuxedo Park Renaissance Fair in upstate New York. And I heard a lady tell me, how about if you try Course in Miracles? I was like, huh? I did not know what that was, but I guess a couple of years ago I heard about it, and I think I'd like to try it. And I was just going online on Facebook, and I was putting in the word A Course in Miracles. And I guess through maybe a couple of people, I heard about you guys, so I love you guys. I mean, I could just do this at home, and it's perfect for me, because come dinner time on, oh, forget it. I just get too tired. I go nowhere. I mean, about 5-6 years ago, I could stay up till like 11 o'clock at night, no problem. Now it's like I get too tired, but I'm glad I have A Course in Miracles in my life, because it helps me think more positive. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. But the God of my understanding loves me, and I love him. He's one cool dude. And the people who made this book, you got my thumbs up. Okay, Bill and Helen? I wish I could make you New York cheesecake, okay, Bill and Helen? That's what I want to do for you. I'll give it to you in heaven, okay? Hi, Jared. We love you.
Thanks, Linda. All right, let's move on to forgiveness in the field and talk about pain. So I'll do a couple quick ones from this week. Saturday, I went to do my weight training, and it was really hard, and I was in a lot of pain, and I wanted to quit. And it took me a few days to remember that I really needed to forgive that situation. And I was, blaming myself a lot for like not being strong enough and feeling overwhelmed and feeling guilty for wanting to quit. So doing forgiveness, on myself and that situation was important. And then what was the other one I was going to tell you? Oh yeah. So on Thursday, I went to short microphone technique training workshop at a theater here. And those things always kind of trigger me, because in sort of groups of people, social anxiety, I want to prove that I'm special and smart. And so I want to like answer questions. And when other people ask questions and answer questions, I'm judging them pretty hard. So I had a lot of forgiveness opportunities there. And there's just one guy, for example, who was often just sort of like sharing on, felt like without it being requested or asked. And I was sort of like, I was wasting our time. And luckily, I think pretty quickly, because I was just sort of calm there and like focusing on the event, I was able to remember to forgive, and it felt good. And those are my forgiveness in the fields. Who else would like to tell us about their experience this week?
Yeah, I'll go next. Well, I have to forgive my sore lower back right now, and I have to forgive extreme fatigue the past couple of days, kind of like sleep schedule all bonkers and stuff. If you haven't noticed, I'm kind of like falling asleep right now because I'm really that tired. Even like the lower back can't even handle how much I've been standing and stuff. So that's pretty tired, right? But yeah, like, had to forgive a lot of things, like tension between me and my ex. It kind of feels like we're universe is kind of starting to force the pull apart now. We've been prolonging like separation there in a good way. Job interviews. Everybody wants to hire me, but I found the job I really want. But of course, forgiveness within that too, and just a little bit of everything. But just remembering to try and do it. I was just playing Call of Duty like an hour ago, and because of my fatigue, I was kind of making it real, and I was getting mad, and I was even saying kind of rude things and stuff, and I was trying muting my mic. I'm like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, and like, so, and that's not like me, but you know, I bet being quite fatigued can definitely create more opportunities to practice forgiveness. That's for sure. So that's kind of cool, actually. Not such a bad thing, really.
Awesome. Good work, Christian.
Thanks.
It's a lot of stuff. Who else can tell us stuff?
Hi, it's me, Linda. I guess I had to like forgive myself for that my legs are so bad. I mean, I guess I take maybe like 5 to 10 times longer to get anywhere than anybody else does, but I know I'm doing the best I can. So it's just my legs start really slowing me down. But my mind, oh God, I go faster than these tablets, I think. I'm like sitting there looking at them like, move. But I have no patience, that's the way I am. But I do the best I can, But after this, I'm going to have maybe the rest of my dinner. Well, Desi is cleaning out the bowl. Right, honey? He's polished and dry. I know him. And I'm going to be here because I love all he is.
Thanks, Linda.
I'll go first. I didn't have any forgiveness opportunity that I could remember right now. What I have been doing is remembering to forgive, on a regular basis. And sometimes when I am about to judge something, stopping myself before I do it. And that has been very, very useful for me this week. So I feel more calm this week. And so, yeah, I feel like the things that I am doing are working at some level, even though sometimes I cannot see it. But then I am like, oh, I am also doing my lessons. And now sometimes I remember doing it throughout the day, which before it was like it was gone as soon as I read the whole thing in the morning. So yeah, that's what I could share this week.
Thanks, Maria.
Thank you.
Okay, we got 3 people left.
I'll go next. Nana and Michelle have actually already heard this because I was talking about it in our session earlier today. But day before yesterday, I was on Facebook with a friend of mine. We've been friends for about 45 years. And she was talking, and we're both very much into following what's going along with the political and world situation. And she and I will very often have Facebook chats. And she was making comments about the fact that she was doing some research on what actually constitutes a national crisis. And her son hopped on and just started reaming her about wasting her time and getting into all this detail of politics and what difference does it make because you can't do anything to change it and blah 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 blah. And he was really being a jerk about it. Of course, that's a judgment. But so I made the mistake of replying under his comment so that it went back to him, and I just told him that, I said, and I was generally commenting, not necessarily specifically to him, that being an informed citizen it matters and it's important, and that, I respected his mother for the fact that she was taking her responsibility seriously. And of course, then he had to come back in and jump all over me for, just having the audacity to comment. And the thing that just set my ego off more than anything was at the very end of his comments, which were not kind and condescending, but he ended it with "Have a blessed day," which was so dripping with irony, and you could just tell that he really wasn't meaning that. He was really meaning F you. And my ego just bit hook, line, and sinker. And for a good hour, I stewed. I didn't comment. I kept myself from making any comment because I knew that wasn't going to help. But after a while, I kind of did give in. I didn't respond to him directly. What I just basically said was that I hadn't been looking for his comment. I was just praising his mother. And so, of course, he had to come back again. And he ended again with, "And again, have a blessed day." So what was really good about it, though, was the second time I managed to get my little ego reined in and go, okay, this is just a clear example of, being judgmental. And my reaction, even though I am refraining from actually putting any of this out there, in public, it's still going on in my mind. And as long as it's going on in my mind, it's still affecting me. I am definitely not above the battlefield in this situation. So that was a good reminder that it's so, so easy to get dragged down into the mud. So easy. And I'm still working on trying to forgive myself because I'm still not quite over it. And that's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. Because it definitely destroys the peace.
Yeah,
the peace
but
is what
I wouldn't
matters.
say it's a bad thing either, Stana, because if we think it's a bad thing too, then we're taking it seriously, right?
That's true. That's true. That's buying into the guilt, like Ken talks about.
Yeah, but I love your transparency and honesty, yeah, it's to be expected. Of course, we cherish our ego. Of course, we're not in line yet. Of course, it's going to take time. Yeah.
Thanks, Donna.
I can go.
Michelle?
Yeah, I'll go. So this week, I went to a neurosurgeon, and a couple of months ago now, for 13 years, I had an injured neck, for 13, 14 years due to a couple of major accidents. So for 13, 14 years, I've been protecting my neck and protecting how I move it and such. So I found a great chiropractor in the beginning, about 9 months of last year, put me all back together from an accident 13 years ago. My rib cage had to be moved a little bit, did a great job. Right when I'm entering maintenance, he decides to break his own rule. And he put my head in traction, and then he turned my chin instead of keeping my chin straight. And I said to him 3 times, no, do not do that move. Do not, for 14 years, I have prevented my head from being, and then he also broke his own rule. So his ego got the best of him. And what it has now cost me is, because right there, I have to forgive myself for not getting off that table, because my no was a no. It was a serious 3-time no. Do not do it. And it was like, trust me. And I just knew better. I just knew, because I was at a perfect point of maintenance. I was at the point of walking out and going to see him once a month or something like that. So I was really glad I could still go to a chiropractor. My neck was doing great. Everything's been doing great. And all of a sudden, he, after he did this move, he then tried to fix it again. Well, this week at the neurosurgeon, I can no longer go to chiropractic, and he has now collapsed my vertebrae. And so, serious damage has now happened. And the good news is I'm strong enough from yoga to sustain not having surgery right now. But like the surgeon said, this week you could be fine. Next week you may not be able to walk right, and a year from now you may not be able to. In 10 years from now, so I don't know when it will break down again. But I've had to forgive myself, which has been probably the hardest, because I knew better. And I even, and I felt invisible when he didn't hear my no. And he also had a staff member in the room because they had to hold my feet. So it's been sort of a really deep week, because now it's caused permanent injury. and it's caused serious injury. More, especially when I've practiced for so long to keep it as well as I could. So one, I'm working on forgiving myself because it really hurt. I felt invisible, and that really hurt. And then also I told him right up front, he hurt me. I mean, that was said because just by my body's reaction and my reaction, I knew I was hurt. That was talked about from the beginning. So I'm just sort of waiting so I can meet with him, talk to him, tell him what happened, tell him what the prognosis is. And, if anything, maybe he'll not make another person invisible one day when his ego is going a little high, so it's more like, I might end up being the teacher for the moment, but I have to forgive and work on myself first, because I don't want to walk in there. I'm angry. I was angry. I was hurt. I mean, I was angry. I was hurt. It just was like, every time something's going well and good, something just hits me between the eyes. And that was what it was at that moment. So I want to make sure that I'm centered before I talk to him, and I'm taking the time to do that. So I need to forgive me, forgive him, forgive whatever else was happening at the moment. But yeah, I'm on my way.
Good work, Michelle. Yeah, a lot of moving pieces there. A lot of potential opportunities for forgiveness.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, you guys, we did all the things. So next week we will be talking about the next 30 minutes. So minute 30 to minute 60.
Wait, did we do Nan's forgiveness in the field?
Oh, Nan, I'm sorry. Hit us with some forgiveness in the field.
Well, I feel like I've kind of gotten thrown into a game that I don't know the rules for. So, and
Nan, don't feel pressured to share if you don't want to. That's fine.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. All right. I think I'm understanding that what you all do is kind of track things during the week, and I guess what my question has to do with is I'm trying to find where your line for forgiveness is and how that works.
Yeah, this is a little more challenging for you because you are so new to A Course in Miracles. Because one of the primary principles is some would say the overriding principle of A Course in Miracles is forgiveness. And so what we're doing is trying to find ways throughout our week to see how we are learning to forgive more and where we still need to learn to forgive more. So, but if you don't feel comfortable sharing it, please, give yourself time.
Okay. I think I might be able to just go forward and kind of look to see if I can track what you all are doing.
Yeah, like the concept of forgiveness in the Course is a lot different from the way forgiveness is traditionally looked at. Traditionally forgiveness, is like in the past, or the old school style of forgiveness is like, you did something wrong, and now out of the goodness of my heart, I have the power of God within me to forgive you, and because I'm so holy, but you're still going to hell. But because I can forgive you, and you really did something wrong. But in A Course in Miracles, it's a lot different. Like in A Course in Miracles, it says like, forgiveness does not pardon sins and make them real. That would be old school forgiveness, pardoning something that you did wrong, a sin, making it real. Rather, forgiveness sees that there was no sin, that nothing really happened. And only in that view are your sins forgiven. So the Course is using Christian terminology as a work of art to appeal to a Western audience, but it's really talking about something different. It's talking about like A Course in Miracles says that there is no world and that this is an illusion. That is not a new idea. That's very common in Eastern traditions and stuff, as you know. Or quantum physicists will say the same thing. So forgiveness in the Course is very different, but so there's a few steps to it, but you kind of remember that you're dreaming, and the universe is quite literally a dream. Some people will say simulation, but so you remember that you're dreaming and nothing actually happened, but we need help from someone outside of the dream, or the illusion, or the matrix, or whatever you want to call it. And that help, whatever you want to call it, Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha mind, maybe a God parent, maybe something. It's basically the part of you that knows better. Your intuition is a good word to use, I find. That part of you that knows better, you can ask it for help, and it can help you to see the situation differently from sort of a higher perspective where all of us are innocent. And so, yeah, so it's a little bit different. I hope that helps.
Yeah, so you're basically looking for places where you've forgotten you were in a dream.
Yeah, we kind of talk about it as an entertaining thing on this level, but ultimately it's, just how did we deal with something that kind of pushed our button? But it's important for us to realize that there is no us either, and that forgiveness is not between bodies, and I'm not forgiving someone else. That's a total illusion, and that will get us nowhere. So that's another level where we keep that in the back of our mind while we kind of talk about it on this level, but it really doesn't have anything to do with this level at all, because there's no me and there's no you. So it's a little, a little deep. Forgiveness goes deep.
So the forgiveness is to yourself for having forgotten.
Exactly. It's always for yourself, for your, our yourself. Yeah. It's always to yourself, like you said, for forgetting that I was dreaming. Totally.
Oh, see,
Thanks, Kristen.
I was going to say, putting the dreaming aside, I really struggled a moment with this injury because, I did my part to prevent it, except for walk off the table. And, it was interesting how you just said that I don't really have to forgive him, but what hurt me most was that I stayed on the table. What hurt me most was that I didn't take the thing off my neck and say no. I activate my no. So I'm forgiving myself for that. And I find that to be the harder forgiveness. I really do.
Yeah, for sure. And that incident, it creeps me out, that's pretty extreme, and whatever your understanding is of forgiveness too, just do that and it'll grow and flourish as we learn more, right? So
yeah, agreed. Thank you.
You too.
All right. Thanks, everybody. So as I was saying, next call will be on the second 30 minutes of the same video. It's at the top of the Facebook group. Same bat time, same bat place for the next meeting. Good to see everyone. So I'm going to unmute everyone and we'll say all participants are unmuted. We'll say goodbye and good night.
Good night.
Bye and good night.
And God bless.
Good night and God bless.